Approximately 25 years ago, the Colorado Avalanche acquired Ray Bourque, who at the time was in his 21st NHL season, all with the Boston Bruins. A year later, Bourque was hoisting a Stanley Cup in an Avs jersey. With all the big rumors that Sidney Crosby could be on the move, we're asking the question today, will history repeat itself in Colorado? Hey everybody, welcome in to Clearing the Benches, your one-stop shop for hockey content. If you go ahead, hit your subscription button right now, you'll be sure to be in on all of our future videos. Well, it was right around the trading deadline, 1999, and Ray Bourque was desperate to win a Stanley Cup. 21 years in Boston, and he hadn't won a cup, and the future, the writing was on the wall. It was not going to happen if he stayed in Boston. So he opted out. And then he and Dave Andreychuk were traded from Boston to the Colorado Avalanche in exchange for 3 players and a #1 draft pick. Worked out well for Colorado. They won their Stanley Cup. None of the players that the Bruins received made an impact, not even the first-round draft pick. So when I look at the possibility of this deal happening, okay, Crosby's only got 2 more years left on his deal, and he always gives the Penguins that hometown $8.7 million a year discount. The Penguins, they are the 4th worst odds to win the Stanley Cup this year at 200 to 1. So it ain't happening this year, and it ain't happening next year. When we look at Crosby, he's done everything he could possibly do in Pittsburgh. He won the Stanley Cups. I think he's 10th all-time in the NHL in scoring. So there's nothing that he needs to prove to the people in Pittsburgh. He has done it all. Other big-name guys have played a long time in the city that drafted them, and then they were traded. And, the 2 guys right here, both of them were, possible Hall of Famers. Joe Pavelski played his first 12 years in San Jose before he got traded. And Mark Messier played his first 12 years in Edmonton before he got traded to the New York Rangers. So there's already precedent as far as Hall of Fame guys being traded this late in their career. When I look at what Crosby could bring to the Colorado Avalanche, obviously the big reason for him to pick Colorado would be to play alongside his hometown buddy, Nate McKinnon. It's obvious they've got a special friendship. They train together in the offseason. See a lot of pictures of them hanging out, and they both look very, very happy to be in each other's company. Now, if you're going to make a trade and you're going to send Crosby to another team, they're going to have to want to take Crosby on first of all, and then they're going to have to give you something that maybe you don't want. So maybe this would be a 3-team deal so another team could help facilitate it. When I look at a guy in Colorado who looks like he may not be so happy and he may want out, Marty Necas. You're not going to trade Crosby straight up for Necas. That is for sure. Pittsburgh would have to definitely sweeten the deal up. I would say that maybe Crosby, a #1 and a #2, would get it done for Necas. But that's a big if Necas would even accept a trade to Pittsburgh or the 3rd team. That would be his final destination. He would approve a trade there. I think that something like that would be a big-time win situation for both franchises. I think Colorado, it's going to give you a jump now when you go into the playoffs. Who's more playoff ready than Sidney Crosby? The guy is just phenomenal at everything he does, and seems like the later in his career it gets, the better he is. And when I see a team like Pittsburgh, look, let's say they get Necas, and, then you would also have something that you could move on in it. Now you've got a big, big name that I would think you'd get a better return than you would get for Crosby. Crosby's 37. Necas is probably, 27, if he's even that. Necas, at this point in his career, should have much more upside than a guy like Crosby. So the Penguins, even getting a guy like Necas, even if it's to move him, a couple of hours later, that is a valuable, valuable bargaining chip. So that's going to do it for the video today. I saw the rumors out there that Crosby could be getting moved. And in my opinion, I think the Avalanche are probably the sole destination. I just don't see him walking away from 20 years with the same franchise just to go play for a random team. I think it would be Colorado for sure, and I think it would be specifically to play with Nate MacKinnon. So let me know what you think down in the comments section. If you think there's a chance that Sidney Crosby could be moved this year, if they do it, I would say do it between Thanksgiving and Christmas. Give him the second half of the season to get acclimated with the Avs. If you could, please hit your like button. Don't forget to subscribe. And as we always do here, clearing the benches, let them know you're out there.